Life Promised Death is the fourth full-length album from German black metal band Farsot. And I guess if you wanted to qualify that with a set of career-spanning subgenres, they started out as more of a depressive black metal band. Uh, Perhaps a dark metal band, which went along with that at the time in the late 2000s. And then they eventually became more of an avant-garde black metal band, and I would say one that is closer related to the post-black or the atmospheric black metal side of things, where you might want to consider some of the things that Agalloch were doing later in their career as and Enslaved as well, around like Below the Lights or something like that. Now that's not a full snapshot of what they do on this record, but it's an idea of what they've done past and present. For this fourth record, I would say this is their most professional and accessible record in some sense, but it's also their most expressive and vast record to date, with the most, I guess, variety of types of songs, different moods and motions throughout. So there's a lot of places where they fit within different niches, but ultimately we get what I would consider a little bit of an extravagant dark metal influenced um, black metal record, and one that is a little bit progressive, a little bit avant-garde, but never outwardly weird for the sake of weird. And I think it fits pretty well next to something like a Gripney or even Secrets of the Moon, maybe a couple records back in that discography. So just to get a sense of what this record sounds like, the sort of melodrama behind it, let's cut to a song and we'll go from there. So the most compelling thing that I'd read in the press release about this record was that they'd been influenced by the grunge era of rock. I'm assuming maybe the more popular spectrum of it rather than the weird side of it. But there are elements that of this album that are not only composed in a way that where that makes sense, but there are moments of like psychedelic and indie rock from the 90s that do seem like they infuse into the more catchy or out there moments on this record. And you wouldn't think that would work, but if you really think about, again, like the Below the Lights era Enslaved, and that the records are beyond ISA or whatnot, that does make sense in the sort of progressive or avant-garde black metal headspace. If you think about a band like Virus or something like that, this is not exactly full on that far into the weirding state of mind, but you will get a sense that the more tuneful and I guess emotionally driven parts of this album definitely have more than just black metal in mind, and they aren't just pulling from the usual places. That means that there's some songs that are constructed in a slightly predictable ways when they're getting around to a hook, but most of them are pretty involved, and they don't present anything just plainly radio ready. And I think it helps keep it feeling like a black metal album, but certainly a modern one, and one that is harsh in what it's saying and conveying, but not outright violent all the time. There's a lot of nuance to each song here, and the experience is, I guess I would say it's captivating to start, and then there's a lot of rich detail in each of these songs that had me coming back to it for not only how catchy it was, but for the way that they carry themselves through 51 minutes. I mean, that's a long record, and they do a beautiful job of it. Yeah, I mean, I'm not, again, I'm not the biggest fan of the post black metal sound and the dark metal sound and the way that those things usually are they engage in that style of thing, but I think they've done a fine job here with this record. I think it's something that just instantly attracted me to this record, and I found there was depth to it. I think the lyrics are especially fine and well done. The theme is hard to get at first for me, just because I didn't understand what they were necessarily talking about to begin with. It's a little bit vague, and that's just fine for this type of music. But overall, a strong connection with this one. So that released last weekend. Go ahead and check it out now. You can listen to the whole thing here on the site, or you can go just find it on Bandcamp. Otherwise, go ahead and read the review. It is up on the site.